Hey, Bucks of Paint, hi! Hello. Hope it's been a good weekend. It's been good so far. How's your weekend been? Oh my gosh, everyone! Hey, Lena! Hey, Otto! Who are you sewing? Not really. I can't really have the machine on. I think it would make a bit too much noise, but I finished sewing and squaring off all of these, and I'm trying to organize them into a layout that then will be sewn together. But I have no idea how to go about it. So my points are on point. Well, that's the I guess I'm realizing that's the advantage of squaring things off, because they were not really on point, and they're not all on point, but most of them are quite good. I was also like chain sewing them, which saves a lot of thread. When my partner heard you just now, he said hi. Hi! Got to sleep in this morning, and it was around 15 today, so it feels like... Ooh! That's lovely. Hey, Jill! Hello! Yeah, the fabrics are from a charm pack that I think I was sent as a freebie along with other fabric, you know. And I didn't really quite know what to do with it, but then I saw a tip on Instagram about how to make an hourglass. See, this point is not that good, but an hourglass block easily from like two squares, and I was like, oh, I want to try that. I did. Hold on, let me see if I can. Do I have stuff to dab with? I have big ass layer cakes, but they're not open. Okay, let's let's assume that this is a square that's a single color and no seam whatsoever, and this is another square that's also like just a single piece of fabric. So the tip was that you put them like good side on good side, and then you sew each opposite side, and then you cut them from corner to corner. So you have one triangle here that has a seam there and barely any seam there, so you can open it and it makes like this triangle that's half and half. And same for the other one, you open it and you have another half and half triangle, and then you attached both triangle in the middle like that to make these squares. And then you square them off with a ruler and a thingamajig. This rotary cutter. And then you try to lay them out to sew them together, which is what I'm trying to do right now. With varying levels of success. I wonder if I just went like randomly about it and then switched things around to see how that looks. Okay, so I think it's gonna be a like 5 square by 4 square because I think I have 21. And the extra square I think I'm gonna incorporate in the backing. Yuri! Hey! Hello! Say hi to Greta for us. Okay, so she'll appreciate the attention. Aw. She's so cute. She so is. She's stolen many hearts over the past week. Are you hand sewing this or using a machine? I'm using a machine. I was very fortunate because, okay, a bit of a backstory. I was hand sewing, and then my thumb started hurting, and I gave myself like tendonitis from hand sewing, so I had to stop. But it's not really recovering all that quickly. And yeah, Otto very, very kindly gifted me a sewing machine that I really love. So I've been like boom breezing through projects. It's so much faster. I had to take responsibility for getting it. Yeah, it's incredibly generous. I'm still very emotional about it. But yeah, I think I don't know what I hurt in my hand. I think it's something around here because sometimes it hurts more in the wrist and sometimes it's more in this area, but it's like I don't have a brace or anything, and I haven't seen a doctor about it. But I'm just trying to limit, and the fact that with sewing, I'll try to mimic it with my my other hand so I don't hurt myself. But like you have the needle in one hand, and you do a lot of this kind of motion to guide the needle through the fabric, and I think that's how I hurt myself. It's okay to hug your sewing machine. Just make sure it's off first. I mean, it's bright pink too. My mother used to say to be nice to the sewing machine, to not anger them. Then they work well for... Yep, those running stitches, they definitely will. I had no idea, but I found that out the hard way. And it was such a bummer. Like even just like holding on the cap to remove this is painful. I was gifted a sewing machine, so this is just paying it forward. I'll have to keep that in mind. Though I initially I had a sewing machine a couple of years ago, but I really didn't vibe with it all that much. And it was taking up space, and in a fit of decluttering at some point I donated it, so I hope, and it came with a bunch of accessories too, so I hope whoever ended up with it was I don't know, at least happy with it, more happy than I was. But this new one, it really works like a charm. It's incredible. Genome is it's definitely better. And it's so easy to take care of it. Yeah, my sewing machine is 11 years old and going on. So, do you have to service it often? Because that's the only thing I haven't found really any plan or like I don't have an idea. Like if something has to be fixed by a repair person. I try to look after it, open it up and dust it before each project. Okay. My mother repairs hers too, or random old ones. So she has several that are 30 plus years old. Yeah, I mean, just sewing one project, I can see the like the dust from the fabric. And also, like, it has happened twice that the thread has caught, which is something that happens, like, and it was so easy to, like, just open the cabin. Is that what you... No, it's not a cabin. It's a canet in French. It's a bobbin. I, I merged the French and English word into a cabin. Canet and bobbin, so a cabin. But it was so easy to open up the bobbin area and to, like, unclip the thingies and take out the bits and just, like, remove the thread that was stuck and good to go. And I was like, oh, damn. Dust can build up with the grease inside and then it won't work. Find out the hard way. Yeah. And you have to, I guess, clean it and re-oil it every once in a while so that this residue doesn't pile up. I think it needs a bit of oiling in the in the cabin area, in the bobbin area. Because I saw some oil when I was, like, removing the parts. There should be videos on YouTube about how to maintain your specific model. Okay, I'll look it up. I don't think she needs it right now, but that's definitely something I want to stay on top of. Dang it. Oh. I guess it depends also on how much you use it. Get into the habit of doing regular maintenance before or after each project and your machine will be very happy. That reminds me of something that as a teenager in high school, we went on a school trip somewhere and we took a ferry boat. And one of my friend, for a second, like, put down his soda can, like, on the floor of the boat, just for a second. But at the same time, some staff from the boat came by, and he saw my friend just put the can down, and the staff person thought that my friend was, like, just discarding his can by leaving it on the floor. So he came by and he said a clean boat is a happy boat, or something like that. And it kind of became a thing, because as teenagers that was really funny, I guess. So I feel like a clean sewing machine is a happy sewing machine. Still works. gosh, these are all too samey to one another, except for this one. I thought you said ferry boat at first, and I thought, wow, that sounds magical. No, a ferry. No, a ferry boat would be quite cool. Do you want the two yellows to be next to each other on the left here? Yeah, I'm not sure about that. This is the hardest part, is looking at it and trying to switch things out so that it still works, but in a little shopping center nearby, they had lots of stores in tiny historical buildings, and one store was in an old boat, and it was called a ferry boat, and they sold little fairy things. That sounds adorable. Is it still in business? Sadly, they tore down the center. Oh, that's such a bummer. Historical buildings too? Oh. What has everyone been up to this week? Ooh. I've been filming quite a few videos. Fudge, hold on.
Elle vient de commencer.
C'était quoi là, t'as dit?
On peut pas. Et 8.
Oh non. On va tellement avoir une poque là. Ça n'a pas fait du bien. I've been dealing with a lot of anxiety, but I've managed for a bit of art. Ooh, yeah, that's definitely a win. I agree. Second look at my new role. And Barrett does not appreciate me being busy. Oh no! Amy is going to have us both in the office. Alright, I think I will just leave it at that for now and I hope I can somehow roll into this. I'll look back on the footage to see what I did. Well, I'll start over again. Hey! Farcloud! Hi! Yes, it is fabric. Alright, so now my options are to finish tying, tie more of these. You can see I'm tying it, boop boop. Or to open this up and try to do more fabric pairings. I need to group these in pairs that work for this layer cake and this one too. Open, open, open. Which one first? Out of the petunia roll or the camellia one? Lots of pinks in both, as you can see. I think I'm gonna approach these in the same way and make them the two sides of one quilt. The turnips are really funny, aren't they? This one is teacups. I plan on doing something really simple with these. I saw another technique on Instagram that I want to try out, where you lay out two squares on top of each other and you basically make the first line from corner to corner, and then you do one line on each side, and those lines are the ones you sew, and then when they're sewn you cut the middle, and then you have to like squares, half triangle thingamajig. Yeah, you get to see both. The right ones are the T one. Well, if we have time, you get to see both. That's the... I need a scissor. See, that's the thing with these kind of fabrics is that the fabrics themselves are so interesting and pretty that I don't want to end up cutting these up too small that you can't enjoy the pattern for what it is. So that's why I'm trying to think of ways to do simple beginner quilts, but also that like let you showcase the fabric well. I feel like for the more intricate work you either need some really subtle patterns, anyway that, or a nice selection of plain fabrics. You guys see? Hope I'm somewhat on frame. I have to wait. Okay, I think I'm on frame. This is Camellia by Ruby Star Society from designer Melody Miller. I kind of really like that specific team of designers. So, two of the tea. Oh, that's so cute. So just one of that. I like to make one pile of those that have two and one pile of those that have only one. I was so not surprised when I saw that these beautiful fabrics were printed in Japan. I was like, yep, feels right. Sounds about right. Like, not a surprise. I hope you guys can see that some of these have like little gold. This one has little gold accents. This one had copper dots. The moths, yeah, they're pretty. So I think we're gonna see each of these patterns in quite a few colorways, which I think is super fun because it makes for if you do a project with these, it looks really cohesive. So a bit more copper on this. What are you pairing up? Well, I don't know yet how I'm gonna pair these up, but I wanna, like, this set. Yeah, a layer cake is 42 pieces. So I can make 21 pairs with each set, and each pair is going to give me 2 squares. So I'm going to be back to my 42 squares. So I'll be able to lay them out 6 by 7. And I want to make, I'll see if I change my mind along the way, but since I have 2 layer cakes, I want to make this kind of idea twice. And have one fabric collection be one side and the other fabric collection be the other side. So you have a double-sided quilt. And the idea is to, let's say hypothetically that I'm pairing these two up. The plan is to, so yeah, you basically draw the first line corner to corner, and then on each side you have another line. And this other line is your sewing line, so you sew along that line and you cut the corner to corner, so you have like 2 squares that are half and half like this. And then you like put up the squares in an appealing way to make the quilt top. I wish we had sketchbook with covers like this fabric. Sometimes this company will have little notebooks with their designs on the notebooks, but I mean, anyone could buy this and make fabric covers for sketchbook. I think it would be really pretty. Thanks for explaining. Oh, no problem. If you have any, like, if you have more questions, feel free to ask. You know this stuff I don't. I'm just like, for me it's one part winging it and one part following some random tip I saw on Instagram that now is stuck in my brain and I have to do something about it. This moth one has 2 sheets. Oh, I was I was showing the ugly quilt to Mr. E, and he was agreeing with our general consensus. 2 little spoons. Winging it is the best approach to quilting. It takes you a good distance. Like, you can wing it until you understand how you could improve on your winging it. And then you improve on your winging it, and you wing it from that point on, and then at some point you're like, hey, I could improve on this again. And it's basically how I learned to do anything, really. I totally started my Doctor Who quilt without knowing anything about the stuff I wanted to do. Oof. The quilt he showed me was bad. Oh, it was so bad. It was like a pattern that was, you know, fine, but such a weird colorway. These are so bright. I hope you can see how bright these are. These are insanely neon. Oh no, it's not gonna be a light fast quilt. No. No. It's so pink. And the other layer cake has a bunch of pink too. Like, look, more pink. So I think pink is gonna be like the one thing that ties these 2 sides together, really. And I have a lot of jelly rolls too. If you're not familiar, a jelly roll is basically a bundle of fabric that is strips of the full width of the fabric, but it's 2.5 inches strips. So they're really convenient to use for binding a quilt at the end. Oh man, Ato, look at these. Oh. This is so bright. It's so pink. It's so, and then we get this super subtle low volume white on beige that's like, oh, look at me, I'm so different. Okay, these are like, oh, I love these. There's a couple of sheets of basics. So some of them have metallic stars, some of them have white stars. I don't know if you can call that stars really, but you get what I mean. Okay, so I have, oh, these are singles. 1, 2, 3. 16. I have 13. 26, 16, 42, yeah, okay. And now I have to figure out how to combine these into pairs. That's the real puzzle of this whole thing. Once you're set up on how you want to, you know, put what with where, it's the rest is relatively easy. But it's this step that I find always super hard because I'm like, I'm not really sure how I want to do this. Okay, so what I tried to do first is I always try to start up using one of the doubles with one of the singles, because that way I know I can't have the same combo twice. And in that sense, since anyway each pairing is going to give me like 2 squares that have different halves, I'm going to get like 2 of each combo. Does that make sense? But yeah, so that I don't end up like pairing a double with a double twice. I try to pick one double and one single and do something with it. So I feel like I think I'm probably gonna end up making this one a thing. But that's the 2 doubles together, so I still need to figure out stretch. Dang. Alright, so I'm gonna combine these 2 already. There's quite a few that I'm gonna have to team up in there anyway, because I don't think I have enough things. Yeah, okay. So, hold on, let me find something to chat to, so it's not like absolutely quiet in here. Oh yeah, we need to go through the usual. Like, what was something awesome that you ate last week? Today I tried vegan smoked salmon. It was new in the shop and I was curious. It was okay. There is some aftertaste to it, but the texture was very salmony. Was it made from carrots? Then they like the smell of it so much and he licked my fingers. I never likes anything. That's so funny because I can get some fake smoked salmon here too, made from carrots, and it smells very smoky, and the cats are always super duper intrigued by the smell. This question might be stupid, but what are you doing with those after you are done? Are they just meant as decorative blankets, or can you make other things with them, like shopping bags? You can make whatever you want with it. Like if you look for like quilting on like Instagram, you'll see a lot of people make quilted bags. A lot of people make quilts, like big blankets. And perhaps Otto would have some insight too, but yeah, the people do a lot of stuff. Personally, my plan is to make a bunch of blankets, but I've seen people make clothing, yeah, bags, like I said. I'm beginner, very, very beginner-y. So for now, for me, it's gonna be blankets, but I'm definitely not removing the option to, there's quite a few like clothing patterns that I've kept that I would love to try at some point. I'm gonna do the spoon and cups every time I can do this combo thing. I'm gonna make it because I just think it's so much fun. It was too fatty for carrots. The one we have is made from carrots, but they have a bit of oil in there too, so maybe, I don't know. I saw someone making vegan pokeballs with pickled apple replacing the fish, and I'm really keen on trying it. That sounds amazing. I've had apple kimchi, and it was so good. It was amazing. Like, it was a local Korean restaurant, and they bring you like a couple of marinated, fermented, like little dishes, and one of them, when apples were in season, it was apple kimchi. It was so good. Making me want to eat smoked salmon. I mean, you're a fortunate in that you have been able to probably try some of the best fish possible on account of it being super duper fresh. I don't like sausages usually, but in the summer I get some that have big chunks of apple in them. It's out of this world. Like real meat sausage or fake meat sausage. I love pickled everything. In Russia you do tomatoes and it's so good too. That's a bit like what we call like I don't know why we call it that. We call it fruit ketchup here. But it's it's kind of neither fruity, neither ketchupy. It's basically a bunch of veggies chopped down and pickled. Don't be sorry, I live in Scotland, so we have plenty of smoked salmon. Oh, I have some in my fridge. What do you eat it with, usually? I haven't eaten meat. I can do this. I haven't eaten meat in many, many years, but fish is the only meat I miss from time to time. I'm just not sure if I can eat. Oh, that's a lot of... Yeah, it's a bit like chutney, yeah. Real meat sausage, yeah. I'm always partial to real meat sausages. Like, I haven't really had any fake meat sausages that were worthy of the name. You can make pickled everything. I really, like, I'm always surprised people who can turn anything as a pickle into something delicious. I really didn't grow up with that, so... Mushroom ketchup. It's a good vegan replacement for Worcestershire sauce. Oh, hold on, that's a lot of mushroom ketchup? What? What? And he hates fish and will use Worcestershire, but it freaks him out, and mushroom ketchup tastes exactly the same and definitely no fish. but I don't know what it is with Worcestershire sauce, but it's whenever I end up like having a whiff of it. First of all, I want to put it in everything, and then part of me is also like, wow, this has such a weird smell, but it's like it's very Would you say it's very umami, Otto? Probably not at all. It's anything stringy in texture, huh? Alright, so I have just a few pieces of fabric left. I think this kind of went much better than I thought it would, oddly enough. Right. Yeah, totally. It's so good. Oh, well, okay, I'm kind of stuck now. I only have these 4 left. That rose pattern would be insane as a bolt of fabric. Sarcasm. Oh, you need polka dots and stripes to run out your fabric selection! I have a trouble I can made with stripes, and you can just wave it at annoying people until they fall sick. Oh, yeah, I could definitely do with, you know, stripes and polka dots. I was looking for it, and it's not there anymore. Oh, it's a bummer. Okay, I think I need to go. Okay, so. I can't fit all of them into frame all that well. I'm stuck. Put these aside. Right. Is that somehow all visible, maybe. On a quilt of Liberty patterns. On what God's earth with polka dots and stripes. I have no idea. Perhaps if it was... Nah, I can't see it. I was trying to think, like, what if it's super, like, small polka dots, very, like very similar in hue, like, back color is light pink and polka dots are a slightly lighter pink, like something like that. But even that I don't think would be that great with Liberty fabrics. Alright, but I still need to do something with these. Now I feel like this one is perhaps not... I wonder if I'm gonna have to put the this one with this one. But they don't look like the same kind of beige color. This one. This one. That's the same butterfly as that one. Meh. Hattie will stick out too much, yeah. Besides, they don't... Like, it's not doesn't seem to be the same... Perhaps it doesn't show on camera, but it doesn't look right. Maybe this one. But then you can use whatever you want, right? What do you mean? Yeah, Liberty is just a brand of fabric. That's quite well known. Would a double butterfly square be like too obnoxious? Oh man, that hurts. That's kind of painful. Okay, maybe not. put it with the teacups. Oh yeah. So now I have this one and this one. The orphans. Does that make sense? I can't fit all of it. Hold on. Zoom out. Manual. Okay, maybe. Can you not put them together? What do you mean? Wait, what do you mean? Can you not put them together? Teacups are so cute. The teacups are really cute. Oh, sorry, when you had the two orphan ones. Oh, oh. Yeah, good, I guess, but I think this kind of works. I think I'll try to roll this up. In 3 parts, so that I can kind of keep track of what goes with what. Sorry about that. That was the upstairs neighbor yawning really loudly. excited to see the radishes. I think it's such a fun pattern. I kind of have a weird thing too, like I struggle to picture myself not using these as a whole. You know what I mean? Like if I open this up, well, I wouldn't open this up just to take out one and do something with just one. It kind of feels weird. I feel like if I open this up, my project has to account for all of these. So we get just one radish. Aw. Two of these flowers. I went through that as the start of my quilting journey too. Well, I mean, at this point, you mostly look like you don't buy pre-cuts anymore all that much. So I guess, yeah, if you buy a bunch of yardage or fat quarters or whatever, it has less of that feeling of like, this is a whole item that I have to somehow use like all on its own. This ladybug is amazing. Oh, more radishes, yay! Or turnips. Yeah, I think these are supposed to be turnips, right? Yeah, I don't buy any packs anymore. Okay, this is the best version. Oh, I have two. Yes. Look at this. It's so pink. The packs are great for starting quilting with. Yeah, you don't have to figure out space to cut down fabric, which is the biggest like hurdle for me. These are all pre-cut, so you're like, well, I can get to work right away with it. I don't have to, you know, iron it out, cut it down. This is one loud pattern. Oh my gosh, it's so bright. I'm gonna give myself a headache. I think I started quilting because I saw this gorgeous charm packs in a shop. I fell in love with it and figured I'd learn how to quilt. That's a really good way to go about it. Holy moly, bright! Yeah! Yeah, that's next level bright. Very bright. I really like how these are all coordinated to begin with. Like, there's always a couple. The one with Chris Bunkers, I know, right? This one is like painful, especially on camera. Like in person, I have some like depth and distance, but dude, when I look at the screen, I'm like, whoa. Calm down, calm down. But yeah, maybe there's a few in there that I wouldn't choose. But at the same time, like, they all go so well with one another that it kind of makes you want to work with it. I'm really excited to see, I don't know if you guys can see, but there is one here that looks to be bright green, and I have no idea what it is. And I'm kind of excited to get, oh my god, oh, all of these have been insane. Like, there's one here that's probably the most like easy to watch or to look at, but it's still pretty like busy. But man, the neon pink one, and now this one. Oh, we're at the green one. Are you guys ready? Are you guys ready? Ta-da! Okay, we're getting to the kind of what do they call these? Like basics. They have a couple of patterns that are all the same patterns but available in multiple colorways. This one is the hole punch, because it's like, you know, when you punch holes and you get these confetti. So this is it, but wow. Whoa. So I feel like we know right away that these two are gonna go together. I don't see a way around that. Do you? I know they're both like singles, but I don't think any other of these have any like bright green on them. Alright. I feel like this one has a whole lot more singles than... Yeah, this one is 11 pairs. So it's 22, so it means that there's 20 singles. Why is there a bright green in a pack of no green? Well, there is... This is the only green. I think like this one is part... Oh, it's so skewed. I don't know if you can see, but... Alright, the line here cuts off at an angle. It's going to be annoying, but anyway. I feel like... Instead of having this one in to accommodate for this single piece, might have preferred to have another one of like the purple to go with it to tame it down, because what am I gonna do with this super loud square? Like, there's not gonna be a single fabric I can pair it with that it's not gonna like completely steal the show. I thought the bright pink and the bright green would go together too. Which bright pink though? Hey Ellen! The bright green would go nicely with the blues to the right of the screen, so... Oh, I can do that too. Plop. But then I have this one too. What do I do with this one? I don't feel like I can put this one with a fabric that would bring even more color to... I feel like if I'm to pair it with something, it has to be something that already has these colors on it. Like something like this, let's say. So that it doesn't end up being the most, like, all-dressed pizza square of the whole thing. So the robins, I blue. Bronze on my left. These. Yeah, but these you repeat colors. Well, this one, no, there's no pink on this. Fudge. light blue with this one or this one. Like, I feel like that's not, no, that's not my jam. It's too much, too many colors. Perhaps these, but then again the pink is extra. I feel like these two are kind of okay. Perhaps this one is not too bad, but there's this extra color that's not on there. And then this one. Those stripe square ones. Otto! There's stripes! We're doomed! We got stripes and polka dots. We're screwed! That's proving the point. Oh, that would be a hassle, but I'm kind of tempted to take them out. Okay, let's just do a... Oh my gosh, what the heck? I couldn't do my idea of having this be a reversible quilt if I took these out. Because it wouldn't match. It wouldn't be... But... So how many does that make? Get this with this. 35. So what, it's a 5 by 7, kind of a very rectangular blanket thingy. Think them out. Okay. Put the green with the pale blue with the turnips. This one? It's not too bad, but I still feel like this green has such a high chroma. It's so bright that you kind of have to put it with neon pink so that they can fight on even grounds chroma-wise. Do you guys know what I mean? Like, bam! You feel like these fight evenly. Like, this is strong, bam! But I feel like if I put it with something like this is super strong and this is more subdued, so this overpowers this. Does that make sense? Nope. Here with the pink. Hey Charlotte, hi! 50 work make. Well, I mean, for these Holy Dots one, I made a cat face project. I'll go get it. Right, so I made this one, and it's from a charm pack and a mini charm pack of the same design, you can see. It doesn't have the super bright green there. Doesn't have any of the colors that... Yeah, I think it has exactly none of these colors. But I might be able to use these squares to work into the backing of this one. I think that might be fun. And I feel like these colorful colors, they play better with, you know, this. Like it doesn't strike me as garish. So they can fight on equal grounds, quote of the day. Really, that green one goes so much better. Goes much better with the cat's quilt. Yeah, see, I feel like that's fine. I'm gonna be able to. I need to piece together a backing for it anyway. And my brain is happy to combine the same pattern. I think perhaps I've had a few fat quarters of this pattern too. I'm gonna put all of the holy dots together. All of it together, but yeah. So you get assimilated into the cat quilt. Yeah. And as for you three guys, like, okay, prepare your eyes. This is gonna burn a bit. Okay, ready? Ready? I feel like this guy, they have so much, such a strong personality in terms of pattern that I feel they don't really binding. Yeah, I guess I don't think it would be enough. But yeah, I still definitely feel like they don't fit in with the rest. And like they could be, like Lena said, like pencil cases, I think. Is that right? Is that right? But yeah, like imagine just this is a pencil case. That's kind of like good enough already. Yeah, pencil pouches, exactly. Like, hey, that's cute. That's fun and it works and you don't need anything else. Like you put a zipper and an inside and you're good to go. But, all right, so I guess this is going to be a different top with a different shape. I think the other pack worked better as a pack. I agree. And even the other pack has a few fabrics that, like in the other pack, I feel like the problematic fabrics were the white on beige ones. Like when you try to pair fabrics together, these really stand out because everything is quite colorful and dense and you don't really get any low volume ones in there. And then you get these two pieces of low volume and you're like, what am I supposed to do with these now? Still hurts. But you wouldn't lose that pencil pouch. That's not the pencil pouch you forget on a couch somewhere. You're gonna see it. Alright, so let's try to pair these up. Now that this is a bit more cohesive at least. There's a reason why my wallet and phone case are obnoxious color. Yeah, I can see that. I can see that. Makes sense. It's kind of a repeat of the other match I have up here. Like this and this is kind of a repeat, but I don't think I mind. I think I'm okay with it. The real issue, sorry, the real difficulty for me is gonna come when I'm assembling these, so that I assemble them right. In a sense that, well, it's not too bad with this one, but like some patterns have a way, and if you want to cut them and then open up the triangles and it follows the same kind of pattern way, you have to you have to be on top of your thing and think about it before you you're gonna pair these together. My mother has been quilting table runners as of late. She often drags me on trips to the fabric store to match. Oh, that sounds amazing. I miss having a ready access to a fabric store. I used to always have a fabric store when I was a teen. Like, we lived within walking distance of the nearest shopping mall that was quite a big shopping mall. And back then, like, going to the shopping mall was a thing teenagers did. Just was. And I kind of miss having access to it, because I would spend a lot of time. Oh, that's where the green comes from. We found it. We found the green. Look. Well, it's not even the same green. That's why it doesn't work. But yeah, it was a huge fabric store, and that's why I have a kind of a few odds and ends supplies already, is because way back then I would go there and I would make my own costumes for Dungeon and Dragon LARPing. So I have a few odds and ends, and I kind of know how to sew somewhat. But yeah, now I don't really. I have a. I'll take my blessings where I can find them. I have a yarn store not too far. That's kind of cool. But I don't have a fabric store, so I have to. If I need fabric, or if you need something stupid, let's say you run out of thread, well, I kind of have to order it. The amount of times in my younger days when I have been hungover on a Saturday morning in Fabricland is a bit embarrassing. Wait, were you working there, or were you just there to get fabric? I feel a few decades ago fabric and yarn stores were more common. Oh, absolutely. I mean, all the fabric stores I knew are now closed. So even if it's, you know, not that big of a thing, it's still a thing, because there's definitely, and no new ones have opened up. The ones that were there closed down, and that was the end of it. I'm gonna cheat a bit. I'm gonna put all of these together. And then this one. Perhaps I can help with this. I can't figure out that's the purple, right? Yeah, that's the purple. So that was, I'm not sure about this one. Well, go back there, you. No, just there with my mom to help her match. Luckily, I live not too far from Amish country, and so we have a very healthy fabric land nearby. A couple of amazing looks. Oh, that sounds amazing. But yeah, a 40-minute. I mean, if I had a car and drove for 40 minutes, I would probably find a lot of things. But like, it's a weird thing you have to adjust to when you kind of grew up not needing a car for anything, and then as an adult you're like, oh, yeah, this is kind of restrictive now, because I don't really have access to all this stuff unless I can figure out a way to get a car to drive me there or something. do the thing again where I combine this one with the one next to it. Hopefully that looks fine. This one. Yeah, rural versus urban living makes a big difference too. Yeah, the Amish just has the neighbors up the concession. Hey, Judd, hi! Oh my gosh, long time no see. Yes, it's a turnip fabric. I think that the turnip design is really the winner of this whole collection, in my opinion. I don't know what you guys think, but it's not very cute together. Eh. This blue is weird. It doesn't match up with anything else we have. Like, why did we end up with so many different blues in this? Like, look, it's weird. I don't know what to do with this blue. I love turnips. Yeah, the thing is, you know, like rural versus city, is that even we're kind of stuck even in the cities now where they don't really feel like cities all that much in terms of, I mean, not like where I live is fine. It's just, you know, it's okay. We have grocery stores. It's not a food desert or anything. But it's kind of annoying that everything gets grouped up in centers that are not as easily accessible, and it's just not convenient, and I just don't like it. Now I'm left with a bunch of fabrics that I don't really know how to group together. Lovely. Okay, did I? No, wait, did I? Didn't I? I don't think I did that. I feel like maybe this one and this one gonna work. Yeah, okay. Now this one, this one. Gonna work too. And now, well, if I have 35, one is going to be left, and I think it's going to be this one. Well, kind of this. And then this. Wow. I feel like this one was a lot more underwhelming than the other one. Which is a shame, because the turnip fabric is like amazing. Our town keeps turning more and more into a commuter town. Pubs are being turned into lots of apartments. Store struggles, so most housing and grocery stores. 15 minutes drive and they get all the good stuff and people actually go there. But that's the thing, like if you put down all these infrastructure to make room for more apartment, that means more people are going to live there, and these people are going to need like basic services. So it would be a good opportunity to have a little like local grocery store and, you know, a bunch of services that these people will use. just bothersome. It's kind of funny that I lay out this one and we get to the point where I'm like, is it really worth it to make something out of all of these together? Just as I was talking earlier that I still struggle to break apart sets. And I'm considering breaking apart this one because I'm not super all that sold on the layout of it. Is that, am I still all somewhat almost all in frame? Okay. And there was no parking before. Yeah, parking is a problem. I hate parking spaces. Ça peut-tu attendre genre 15 minutes? Parce que je vais finir dans 15 minutes, je vais vous rappeler. Yeah, I cannot even imagine how it has to be in North America where you guys are so spread and far apart and people have to drive everywhere. Yeah, it's not great. It's not great. I hate it. I think this set is a good candidate for breaking it up. Not sure if it all goes together all that well. Yeah, I'm not sold on it all that much either anyway. I mean. The vibe is off, isn't it? This isn't like a branded watercolor set, break it up. But yeah, that was the thing I was saying earlier, is that I've bought quite a few of these bundles, and for some of them, like the cat fabric, the cat faces you saw me, I didn't break up the set, but it was kind of easier to match up because all the patterns were the same, you know. You don't really have to account for different patterns and visuals and whatnot. I have another example I can show, but this one, oops, I had 2 charm packs of this particular set, and since I had 2, I kind of separated them into 2 piles of fabric that I thought the colors went well together. So they're all the same, like, fabrics, but on one side it goes blue, then kind of ochre, mustardy, and then kind of red, and that's one side. And the other side it goes with all the, you know, lilac and purple and pinks, and then it goes into this like mustardy color, but ends up being like much more yellow. And I don't feel like breaking apart this specific set is mandatory. Like, I feel like these all go together quite well, but I don't get that from this other set. Hey, Cyan, hi! You got about 10 minutes left. The print being the same made it easier to use in Congress color armor. Yeah. I think this set has a lot of fabrics that would make cute accessories, you know, using just one fabric, one item, or maybe... Yeah, I think you're right. I think that's a very fair assessment. And I feel like this one, you know, that there was quite a few, like, much subtler patterns, and then you can have something a bit more loud. And, yeah, so this is gonna be a lap blanket. I just need to finish. I decided to tie it because when I started working on this, I didn't have a machine, so I was just like, okay, let's do what we can to just, you know, get this done. But I'm gonna finish tying it up with some fine, it's fine sashiko thread, and then I'm gonna bind it. And if I ever get tired, I can easily like cut off all the ties and, you know, sew through it to quilt it, I guess. There we go. And where the cat faces are. So yeah, for this one, the fact that it's all the same pattern really makes it more cohesive. If it was all different weird patterns, it might work still kind of, because they're grouped in faces instead of just like spread out. But yeah, even then. It's funny because I did most of it by hand and then I finished it with the machine, and you can tell that the allowances with the machine are not quite the same as the allowances by hand. So it's a good thing I'll be able to just trim off the top and call it a day, because they don't quite line up all that well, you can see. I don't mind it, I just find it funny. I just think it's funny. What's like your dream quilt to make if time, skill level, money, etc. was unlimited? I'm thinking. I don't think I have one for now. I haven't been into this all that much. So I haven't stumbled. That's funny because I was looking at patterns for quilts like recently. I was trying to see like, okay, well, I have a bunch of things lined up that I want to do, but is there like now that I can use a machine, is there some sort of like bigger project that I've always kept telling me, oh, I'm not gonna try that by hand, it's gonna be insane. But is there something that now I feel like I could do? And I haven't really stumbled upon a design that I went like, oh, I have to make that one, you know? So that's kind of the thing I'm perhaps waiting on, is to get that moment of, oh my gosh, I have to do this thing, you know? Yeah, I don't know. What about you? Do you have one? Your dream quilt? Oh. Speaking of the cute teacups, it's the same design, but I keep my thread in there and my guide for tying off this one. And I have a jelly roll of this this fabric collection, so I'll be able to match the binding somewhat, which I'm excited to try. It's so fluffy. Okay, oh, it's gonna be fun to use. Not at the moment. Oh, interesting. I'm always amazed at the art quilts, the ones where they basically piece together a landscape scene or something. Yeah, those are really impressive. Like, some people will like make portraits or whatnot. I don't think I could work that out. Like, there's an account on Instagram that I see often. I think it's called Octopurse. And the person makes pretty quilts, but seems to be really focused on intricate designs with teeny tiny pieces. And I don't feel like that's my jam all that much. I think perhaps a goal for me that I feel would kind of make sense would be to eventually make all the cat quilts. All the ones I like. I have 2 for now. I have a plan to make a couple more. There's one I want to make where it's a cat quilt. So it's a quilt with cat designs, but also make all the quilt with cat patterns. So it would be like the meta cat quilt. So that's something I want to do. I think I could work out the design, but the sewing would have to be up to Mom. She's the seamstress and quilter. I've never had the patience to learn. Stupid ADHD. The thing with, I want a bookshelf quilt, one that looks like a oh Oh man. And you have to figure out all the titles that go on there, I guess. Yes to the meta cat quill. It's gonna happen. It has to happen. The one hurdle that I'm encountering mainly is the issue of the batting, like this. So I'm probably gonna end up with so many like tops and backs and just have no batting for it until I can like splurge and buy like a bunch of batting all at once. I saw some places that you can buy a whole roll of it. I was thinking, would dress shirt fabric be everything? Anything is suitable for quilt. Seriously. Like it has become an art form, but I think quilting used to be mostly a good way to save fabrics and, you know, reuse things that were a bit too worn out and had holes in them, so you could, you know, cut around the holes and keep the rest of the fabric and patch everything together and make it into something new and useful. So I don't think there's really any limitations. You just have to work with the characteristics of the fabric you're using. So like if you're using lawn cotton, which is really, really fine cotton, well, you kind of need perhaps a different needle, something that won't like rip through the fabric as much. And yeah, if you work with like stretchy fabrics, a lot of people make memory quilts with t-shirts. You just need to know how to sew stretchy fabrics. I mean, if they make t-shirts, there's a way to sew stretchy fabrics that is perfectly fine. You just gotta learn that. Every time I see someone make something cool, I want to do it too. I almost forgot! Speaking of something cool! Lana sent me something in the mail that is the definition of something cool, and I really have to show you guys. I almost forgot! Oh my gosh, I would have punched myself in the face if I had forgotten for real. You can interface stretch fabrics. Yep. Okay, so check out what Lana sent me. It's my dragon. It's my dragon. and it has a hoard too. It has a brush and a paint tube. Plop. How freaking cute. How freaking cute. Look at it. It's adorable. I love it so much. Has the little horns. Whip. Oh, a cat visitor. But yeah, look at it. It's the same. It's a good color and everything. So yeah, Lana made it and sent it to me. The tiny hoard. I mean, if I really wanted, I could probably like make a pile of paint tubes and plop the dragon on top, and it would. Oh, I think I even got a Dante hair in there. But yeah, like it could sit on top of a hoard. So yeah, it has a prize spot on my shelf next to me. I think it's amazing. Oh, hey Paulo, hello. I have won a bunch of my high school t-shirts my mom hoarded, including my beloved Albert Einstein. Yeah, and I've seen people do really patchwork memory quilt with like clothing from a deceased relative or something, you know, like as a kind of way to like you want to keep the memory, like, but not necessarily keep the person's clothing as much, because the clothing is not particularly useful. But I've seen people turn that into quilts, and then like the quilt can have a place and have a use. You can ah what? Oh my god, that's so good. Wow. And you do all this from knitting. I have no idea how you do this. I can understand it with crochet, but knitting, not a clue. That's magic. Foomp. How funny is that? I will learn the pattern for the brush and tube and can share it if someone wants to knit paint tube. I think that's amazing. Anna always goes to the next level. I agree. The lid is crocheted for stability. Yeah, but I mean, still. How freaking cool. I kind of want to, you know, screw it. Bloop. Oh, it's adorable. I love it so much. It's so cute. A friend of mine does in memoriam bears for grandchildren out of old shirts from their grandparents. It's a very sweet thing. Oh, that's adorable. And they can hug them. Oh, yeah, that's sweet. So yeah, I mean, it doesn't have to be an in memoriam thing, but yeah, I've seen quite a few people buy like old shirts in thrift places because it can be an inexpensive way to have fabric. And since quilting, you cut it all up in smaller pieces and sew it all back together, well, it doesn't have to be like you can cut down the shirts and salvage bits of it. It's in the same way. You have people who will buy knit sweaters in thrift shop and unravel them to reuse the yarn. It's what we used to do in general. Whenever some piece of clothing was too small or too big, or well, more often than not too small. I don't think too big was that much of an issue. But if something was too small or if something was too worn out, it would be like split apart or unraveled or unsewn, whatever, and reused. I think even my shirts or clothes that I get rid of sometimes can be used. Just make sure you don't mix washed and unwashed fabric in a sewing project. Yeah, you have to use either everything that's been washed or everything that's been unwashed, because otherwise it's gonna look weird after that. Because fabric tends to shrink a bit. So if you have bits that have shrunken already, or shrunk, and bits that have not, when you wash it, it's gonna make a whole mess of it. It's gonna be all weird and puckery. There was a local artist who used to take old, ugly sweaters and make mittens out of them. Oh yeah! I remember seeing that too. T-shirts can also be cut down into fabric yarn. Yep, and it's jersey and it's stretchy, so the fact that it's jersey means it won't come apart. And the stretchiness is really like fun for making baskets and rugs and all kinds of stuff. It's just a bit sad when you see people buy stuff that is still completely good and usable to cut into it and make into something else. I'm always like, oh, but that thing was still good, you know? It didn't need upcycling all that much. My mother used to sew baby and toddler clothes from old sweaters. Yeah. So she would cut into them and sew them into clothing. It's interesting. I have my grandmother's silk kimono. I don't know what to do. Ooh. I'm deathly afraid of cutting into it. Yeah. I mean, I would try to avoid cutting into it if I could. I think if I had the space, if space was not an issue, I would try to get, you know, those sort of display thingy for kimonos. Kimono? I don't think you put an S at the end of that. I also have my own kimono that I don't know what to do with. Ah, that's such a shame because, I mean, these are a really real piece of art, but they're really hard to display as well. It's not like something you can just like put in a frame, put on a wall, and call it a day. Like, it's a 3D piece of fabric, so what do you do with it, you know? Hubby destroys jeans and I had to stop collecting denim. Or hubby needs better denim jeans. I have a bunch of my great-grandmother's embroidery work, and since the styles have changed, my mom has taken to using it in some of her quilt making. Oh, that's a good idea! With the amount of wool moths. Oh, I can't leave it displaying. It would have to be like, well, it doesn't work either because it would be problematic, but you'd have to encase it in cedar. Well, moths are something I have panic of. The ones that are horrible. Yep. Oh yeah. Right after ticks, moth. Ticks and moth are the worst. They're on equal ground. These two can go. Yeah, that's it. Otto cannot use cedar because she's allergic to cedar. Ugh. I'm gonna keep such a close eye on this little guy because this feels like wool yarn. I'm gonna be checking him to make sure nothing gets. We have a time of year where the little shits are crawling up the walls in their little houses. Oh yeah, it's. I hate them. They're disgusting. I just hate them. I hate them. Hate them. Hate them. It's 75% wool, 25% nylon, like in the washing machine. But yeah, definitely in a washing bag for sure. It's sock yarn ready sturdy. Okay, good to know. I'll leave myself a note. But yeah, gotta be extra careful. I've had moth too. Like I didn't know what they were, so I wasn't particularly careful with anything made from yarn and whatnot. And I found out the hard way that you have to be careful about that stuff. I had a toy that was a cat, kind of plushy, made from upcycled wool socks. Well, they dug canyons in that thing. Like there were holes in there, and I was like, oh my gosh. My current trauma is that in the lean-to off our kitchen is a big slug trail on the What? Yuck! done with my cotton fabric because my friend works in retail, so maybe possible go for cotton. Ugh. They lost the whole shipment that way. Ugh. Yeah. We had a side of the wardrobe that we never used, and when we went to clean out, the clothes were mostly threads. Oh, burn the whole thing. I'm kidding, but yeah, and it must have been so many droppings. Okay, I need to go. This is gonna become distressing. What about mothballs? I hope these works because for this, they smell so bad. If they stink that much and still don't work, there's really nothing to be done. Okay, we'll never complain about long and dark winters. We don't have moths. You're not missing on anything, really. Yeah. So I'm from Texas and I know big scary bugs. What the UK lacks in scary things, it makes up for in small things. Food moths. Ugh. All moths, like all parasitic, disgusting moths have to go. When I got the wool moth, I had a mothball. What? They're evil. They're evil, evil, evil. Whenever I spot one flying, I'm always like, uh-oh. That's not good. That's not good. And the thing is if you have pets, well, they can eat, like, pet hair. Okay, anyway. Yuck, 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 yuck. Enough of that. Go look at something cute and nice and fluffy and pretty and like this little dragon. And yeah, thank you so much for being here today for this live stream. Hopefully things will be fine and I'll be able to stream next week. But yeah, I'll let you guys know as soon as I know. And until then, I hope you have a great week and a great weekend. And see ya all in the next one. And thank you so much for being here. Did I say that? Thank you. Thank you for being here, really. Bye bye.